Continuing our rolling coverage of Freedom Day here on SABC News. It's good to have you tuning in. So let's go back to Botshabelo now in the Free State. That's where the main event is going to be taking place. The president expected there any time this morning. Palesa Moeti standing by. Let's cross over to her to find out what it is that the president, of course, will be doing when he gets there. We do know it's all got to do with marking 27 years of freedom and democracy. And the theme this year is the meaning of freedom under COVID-19, the Year of Charlotte Maxeke. So, Palesa, I think you're ready for us now. Let me cross this one to you. Palesa, good morning to you.
Well, we're coming to you still from Botshabelo at the Charlotte Maxeke Rehab Center. We'll be talking to the Mangaung Metro spokesperson, Kondile Kedama, just to go through, what sort of preparations had to go into making sure that today actually does come together. Kondile Kedama, thank you very much for joining us this morning. Let's just talk about the kind of preparations that had to come into play, to get today to happen.
Look, we had to meet as different stakeholders, including the Office of the President, just making sure that things are done according to the plan. One of the things that was critical during the preparation is making sure that we at least adhere to the COVID-19 regulations, because this is the first time after level 5 that we go out and do such an event. So what we're going to do, we have tried to minimize numbers in line with the regulation. What we're also going to be doing is making sure that all those people who are coming down here are screened, they are into their mask, and making sure that they keep social distance, because inside here we have erected enough space so that there is social distancing. So those are the things that were critical as we prepare for the visit of the president. One of the things that we did as the city is making sure that we allow them a space where they will be able to, because remember, the event is staggered into 2 phases: the launch of the center of Maxeke and the event itself. Now we have created it in such a way that it is convenient for all the guests and the leadership that will be here.
Okay, now let's talk about the threats that we've heard about this planned shutdown. What is the Metro's role now in trying to make sure that things don't get to a level where things are out of control and everybody's still safe?
Look, we've heard of shutdowns. The presidency, the province and the city have done everything in their power to make sure that at least they interact with the shutdown, because sometimes just treating it as a by-the-way thing is not strategic. So what we did, the leadership did engage with some of the people that are trying to disrupt and so forth. The city is working on a program of making sure that we talk to these people who are into interruptions and so. Yes, we did agree that some of them are raising genuine issues, but there's a group that is actually getting into this and do what is not necessarily palatable for the society of Mangaung. So what we'll be doing also, we're not going to stop here simply because the president has left and the event has gone well and so forth. We are going to continuously engage, because what the leadership of Mangaung is saying is, don't come in drops and dreams. If it's business sector, talk with one voice so that we understand your plight and see how best we intervene. Because one of the things that we were careful about is that some of them were saying we want tenders. And then we said tendering is something that is regulated. You can't just wake up and say, I want a tender. If you say Mangaung has to be credible, Mangaung has to follow all the processes to the latter so that it issues out the tenders and so forth. Now, it's something that needs the leadership and those who are dissatisfied to sit down and talk about them. But the message here is that please come in one with one voice, so that we're able to know as the city who we're talking to, not these sporadic interruptions that you see cropping all over the place. It then makes us suspect that this is not necessarily genuine, but people have got other intentions that we are not aware of. So we're making a humble request to especially business sector. interact with the leadership. The doors are open. We are prepared to talk with the business sector. We are prepared to talk even to those that want to bring the suggestions, because there are formations that are actually coming to the city and say, but this is how you can actually approach things than what you are doing now. And the Ntate Maswetsa, who is the acting executive mayor, has been interacting with these people to say, how best do we take this municipality forward? Yes, there are challenges, but these challenges can only be dealt with once we are under one roof and charting the way forward on behalf of the people of Mangaung.
I know that in Botshabelo in particular, with the high unemployment rate, there's always been talks around the Botshabelo Industrial Park, being revived, but that has not happened. It's been said, I think even in the State of the Province address, there's been talks about reviving that. What sort of role is the Metro playing in trying to actually ensure that it's revived and people actually finally get employment?
Thanks, Balisa. You're bringing this because only 2 weeks back, when the office of the president was here through Dr. Makgoba, where we were actually saying, what are those areas that can be attended immediately? One of the things that the city has done, the city has sponsored the digital hub that is going to focus on the youth. And most importantly, now we're talking virtual economy. And this is what we have started as the city, making sure that we recruit as much youth in Botshabelo and throughout Mangaung to use that hub, one, to start their businesses, but also to skill themselves as we move towards the 4th IR. Now, this is one of the biggest digital hub that you get in the country. Secondly, you might have seen that we are actually even interacting with other existing factories there. Supreme will actually be expanding, and we are assisting them as the city. We said we are committed to you to increase your capacity in terms of employment, but your production. And these are the things that we are doing. If you can go now at the industrial site, you'll see that we have started repairing roads. We are rehabilitating roads. Why? Because we want the transportation. We want people who are doing business there to find it very easy to make business with the city. So this year, Ntate Makalo, the city, and the Trade and Industry and the Office of the President have started rolling out the plan that is going to see a number of people getting employed. We have started with in a small scale, but I am sure that we are going to make a dent in making sure that especially the youth get an opportunity of being employed.
Okay, I don't know if you know much about this particular center, the Charlotte Maxeke Rehab Center, but who will be accommodated here? Is it the entire Free State, or is it only going to serve Mangaung Metro?
The entire Free State. This is the start, one of the centers that you do not get anywhere. What we did, we said it will be located in Botshabelo. Remember, Botshabelo is one of the biggest townships in the country, and we then said, for us to bring life into Botshabelo, part of it is making sure that you revive the industry. You bring other elements, because one of the things that we see throughout the country is that the youth of today, because of frustration of not getting employment and so, they drink, they what. So this rehab is going to assist them, but it's not only going to assist people of Mangaung, but the entire province.
Thank you very much. That is the Mangaung Metro spokesperson, Kondile Kedama, just taking us through, what is expected today, or rather the preparations that went into making sure that today actually does materialize. But as I said, security here is very, very tight. Additional reinforcement have been brought in. We've seen members of the SANDF just to show how how significant this event is. And also just to reflect that, there have been threats right through the week. But we'll be here, obviously, monitoring everything that is happening. We've got a team out on the ground, also just checking what is happening on the ground. But with that, it's back to you in studio.
All right, Palesa, thanks very much.